Okay, camera's on. Good morning, come on in.
Morning.
Hi, my name's Gabriel. I'm gonna be your worker here. What's your name?
Danielle?
Is that where you like to go, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me see and make sure we got our stuff. So I have, looks like they gave me your agreement, so that's good. That's a good start. So this is our first meeting, right? It sounds like we're meeting about 4 times this month?
Yeah, that's what they told me I had to do.
Okay. So since it's our first time, there's a couple things I gotta go over that are like housekeeping and just in general stuff. And then we'll just kind of have a nice talk.
Okay.
It'll be a ton of pressure. And I'll be furiously writing notes. Bear with me. Okay. So, housekeeping, let's see, there's a bathroom just across the hall. Let me know if you need anything, if you're thirsty or need a break. One of the big things I gotta go over is our confidentiality policy. First, I want you to know, like, what we talk about is gonna basically, it's between us. And that's gonna be the standard unless like a very few specific things happen. So times I would break our confidentiality. Okay, so the big ones would be if I ever have to suspect elder or child abuse, or maybe people with disabilities. I'm like mandated to contact somebody. I also have a duty to report if, like if you walk out of here really frustrated, or I think, you know, you're gonna go do harm to yourself or someone else, like if you just had it and you're ready to take out the basketball coach or whatever, I'll make sure he's safe. Finally, it would only be broken with your written, like a release of information. Have you ever heard of those before?
Yeah.
So it'd be like, maybe I need some of your records from another agency, or I need to share something with your PO and they want to know that you've been coming. So we would outline exactly what would be shared, and we would get your signature before anything would change. So.
Okay.
Okay. Well, good. And then, so again, we're gonna meet for probably 15-20 minutes today. We're gonna go over some questions. The first one's sometimes the worst one, but I think we're gonna get through it pretty good. And then after we meet for a while, we'll probably take a little break. I'll kind of collect my thoughts and maybe have a few suggestions for you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I guess we can get started. What brought you here, Danielle?
Well, I got a Dewey the other day, this weekend,
Okay.
and when the officer was arresting me, they checked my car, they found some weed in the car too.
And was the DUI weed related or alcohol related?
Alcohol.
Alcohol related. Okay, so hanging in there with that, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I've never been arrested before, it was pretty embarrassing.
Okay. Okay. Have you, so this is your first legal problem ever?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and that's pretty standard. We get a lot of clients that, you know, come in with a DUI or a couple, you know, drinking related incidents, and they get to come see me for a while. So it's understandable. I know the first meeting sometimes you can feel pretty stressed and unsure, so it's okay. So tell me about that night.
You know, I went out with my girlfriends, we went to dinner, had a couple drinks at dinner, and then wanted to go play some pool. You know, I didn't even think I was over the limit or anything, it felt fine. It's not like it was my first day drinking or anything. But I don't know, I guess I was going too fast and too slow or something, I don't know what happened, but the officer pulled me over and it smelled alcohol in my breath, and
So a night out with the girls that ended poorly.
yeah, it was like a Wednesday night. It's not like I was out partying like crazy, middle of the week, you know.
Pretty late in the evening when you got pulled over, or?
No, it was like 7.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that is early. For what we're used to, okay. So you got a DUI, your friends are in the car. were you able to get the vehicle home, or did you have to go through the whole impound process and all that?
They were able, one of the other ones was able to take it home.
Do you remember maybe what you blew?
No.
Okay, I'm sure I can track that down. Sometimes when it's higher, they'll have us meet more often, so if we're meeting for it, it probably wasn't amazingly over. But we'll check into that. Okay, so far, you're here because you got a DUI. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely didn't choose to be here.
Yeah. Would you say you've had other things around your drinking, or was this kind of like, felt like a one-time thing?
What do you mean, like during?
I guess I would mean like other kind of adverse things, so like, obviously DUI is generally the big thing that can happen, when you're drinking and driving for sure, but has there been other times maybe you thought maybe you probably shouldn't have drove, but maybe you didn't get a DUI, or?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I mean, it's Ketchikan, lots of people
Mm-hmm.
drink and drive around here, you know.
It is. A lot of people get caught too, 'cause we got one road.
That's true.
Okay, and you said they also found marijuana, was that yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I guess I didn't get in trouble for with the whole legal thing now, but
Mhm.
in combination with the drinking and driving thing, didn't look so good.
Didn't look so good. Okay. So, I guess let's just go into it. So how often maybe do you think you drink on a weekly basis?
You know, maybe get off of work and have a glass of wine with dinner, sometimes more than one. I have kids, so it's not like I can go out like partying or anything, but every other weekend they're with their dad, so, you know, probably a couple times a month I do go out with my girlfriends and go play some pool or go dancing or whatever.
Okay, so more to kind of get like a free night from the children, and that makes sense. A little bit at home, but that's
Yeah.
amazing, okay. Well, that's not, doesn't sound too horrible, so that's good. And let me take a quick minute to say, you showed up to your first appointment and we're in it, you're doing great. We're working on that first 25%, so,
You have a lot of friends who've blown these appointments off and they end up in more trouble, so whatever, 4 appointments, like.
Okay. Well, it is good to come. So I appreciate that you're here, because we'll be ready for you, but for sure, some people do not make it, so good job. I guess I would say, obviously this is a problem now. It doesn't sound like maybe it was building up for too awful long, but maybe a couple times you probably pushed it, and this time you got caught.
Yeah.
So while we're in this situation, let's see what's going on, how did it affect you? So we've lost the car, or at least the driving ability for a while,
Driving abilities, yeah.
probably 90 days, normally pretty standard. That
Yeah,
sound
I
right?
think for now, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I know like I can't drive till I go back to court again,
Mhm.
show that I've done all of this stuff, so,
Mhm.
and it kinda goes from there, I think.
Yeah, and I think they can move that along a little quicker, as these hopefully go well. And if you're working, they can generally get you some kind of during the day stuff.
Okay.
So there is a way to get back on track quicker, and you're on it, you're participating, you're doing great. I guess that's a tough one, and you got some kids. Are you married?
No,
Not married, okay. Do you have a boyfriend or a husband?
Nope.
Okay, single mom?
yeah,
Okay. How many kids do you have?
4, but one of them's older, doesn't live with me anymore, she's 21.
Okay. 4, wow, okay. You got ages, exactly?
21, almost, 15, almost 16, and twins that are 9.
Okay, and the 21-year-old is a boy or girl?
Girl,
Girl, okay. 15-year-old
boy,
boy?
twin
And
girls.
twins could be anything, what do we got?
2 girls.
2 girls, okay. That are 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they kind of know what's going on, maybe the older ones?
No, my oldest doesn't live in Alaska,
Mhm.
and the kids were with their dad when this all happened, so
Oh, okay.
haven't
Oh, I know it's
explain
tough,
it.
but it sounds like it could have been a lot worse, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so if you're looking back, maybe, when do you think you kind of started crossing that line of starting to maybe push the line of driving while intoxicated before getting caught? Like, when do you think, at the very beginning, you start saying, maybe a couple drinks isn't so bad, or?
You know, like a couple of years ago when my ex-husband and I divorced, and we started this routine of the kids going back and forth, it was, you know, you got a week crammed full of all the kids' stuff and family stuff and whatever, and then the other week, bam, you're just alone all of a sudden.
Oh, I see. So it's that real lopsided back and forth?
Yeah.
Okay. I had the same situation I've tried before, so I know, I think ours was every few days, but it was the same, like, real busy kid, bam, 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 because you're the single parent,
Yeah,
so it's real intense, and then you're almost lonely, like, now
Yeah.
because I have nothing to do, okay.
so, you know, at first it was like, just kind of get situated and, you know, be kind of alone and quiet and sad, you know, and then, just, you know, just kind of meeting back up with friends that I hadn't maybe had time to hang out with before, go have dinner and drinks and then maybe dinner and drinks and
Some of your
pool
single
game.
friends without
Yeah.
the kids, okay, yeah.
I guess if I'm being honest, it probably has been a year now of kind of pushing that.
Kind of pushing it.
Probably line of safety or whatever.
And yeah, most of the time it's slow, as we rarely get the guy that's on their first time pushing it and they get caught, it
Right.
comes later. Okay, well, let me make sure, ooh, okay. This is a tough question, let's get, I wanna get some numbers out of you.
Okay.
So, we're gonna do this, here, and there'll be some more number questions for you later.
Okay.
We're gonna do those each meeting, so we'll kind of plow through these ones, and then you'll kind of know what to expect in the future. So if you were gonna scale how you feel right now, with like 0 being just the worst you've ever felt, totally don't have control, and then 10 being the best you've ever felt, no stress in your life, things are going well with the kids, you know, where do you feel right now?
I mean, like a 3. I mean, I got arrested. Can't drive to work. Like, I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to tell my kids next week why I can't drive them to baseball practice. Maybe more like a 2.
Maybe more like it 2, but not quite a 1.
No.
Okay. But the first week of a DUI is one of the most devastating things parents have to deal with, because it
Jail
is.
was traumatic.
Yeah, you get put in jail for the night, you know, you've heard, like I said, it's catch connected with DUIs all the time, so you know the insurance stuff that's coming and the days, and,
Finances.
you know.
I don't know how people go
Yeah.
to jail time after time after time after the invasiveness of the first time, it would be okay to not ever have to go through that again. So, I guess I'll see how you can help.
Okay, so we're 2 or 3. I think that's pretty fair. You know, it's pretty common the first meeting, you don't feel like you have a ton of control because you were told to come here, and we understand that. I understand that. I know it's stressful. I appreciate that you're here. And I you know, things will get better for you as we do this. So we're in the right direction. I think we got past the worst part so far if we got in the door. So I guess, kind of check my notes here and wrap my head around this. So if we're at like a 2 or 3, what do you think like a 5 would look like? Back to kind of average.
I guess knowing at least exactly how long till I can drive again, knowing exactly how much more in debt I'll be every month for my insurance and whatever. There are just too many unknowns right now that it's like frustrating and depressing, so I think having some answers like that would be good.
Okay.
Getting through telling my kids and like ripping that Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie to them,
Mhm.
so that's not going to be a fun conversation. So maybe by next week or whenever we meet again, it'll be
Some
a
of
little
those
more
things
like
will,
where we'll be at.
yeah, as time marches on, it'll get more clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds very fair.
Obviously, I suppose
yeah.
I'm not supposed to be around any alcohol or
Mhm.
whatever, so that should be interesting for the next few weeks.
Okay. And then so they'll do, we'll do our alcohol screening each week. And then we'll finish going through your packet before that though and see if there's other things we have to screen for. The judge will have that sent to us, so we'll know what we're looking for each week. But in general, that'll be part of the weekly thing, just to, I don't feel like you're intoxicated right now, I'm not smelling alcohol, things like that. So, so far all aces, you're doing great. Thank you. Good, okay. Oh, okay. So after that, I got one more really tricky question for you.
Okay.
So if you're at a 2 or 3, sounds like you can envision what a 5 will look like as we're moving in the right direction. This question's a little strange, so I want you to imagine that you go to bed tonight, and while you're sleeping, this miracle happens. Okay, so this is tricky. So you're gonna go to bed, the miracle being problems are solved. Let's keep it realistic. We can't go back in time and say the DUI is gone, but let's say you wake up, some of these things are solved, but the trick is you didn't know it, okay? So you go to bed, when you wake up, these problems are behind you, but you don't necessarily know that. So what I want you to envision is as you start your day, how would you kind of know this problem's getting behind you? So you're getting up in the morning.
I have a car in my driveway that I can drive and not blow a thick meter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Take my kids to school like a normal day.
Just the routine.
Guess I have a little more money in my checking account because the expensive insurance is done.
Okay.
I don't know, and I guess I probably just don't feel like a crappy parent.
Okay. Okay.
I guess that feeling of just
Little
like,
shame.
what have I done would be gone, yeah.
Yeah. And that's normal, but that is one of the toughest emotions humans go through is that shame.
Yeah,
So
embarrassed, man.
embarrassed, yeah. It is. It's people make mistakes, and when they happen, they hurt. And they're shameful and they're embarrassing, but people make mistakes.
Yeah.
So good. And you sound like you got a lot going on in your life. So it doesn't sound like you're wallowing too hard, but a little. But again,
Not too much time to sit
you're
in
making
it.
the right steps. So that's, yeah. The rhythm will start coming, the routine will start going, okay. So if the routine's going good, you're obviously driving, because that's the big one. How do your kids seem to be reacting that day?
Good, just happy and like normal.
Yeah.
Just headed to school.
Just busy
and,
kids.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, how do you feel around your friends?
Like I can go to dinner and not have to drink.
Yeah.
Like I can go hang out with them and not have to be at the bar or, find other things to do.
Well, I'm sure a lot of what we've talked about today, you've discussed with your friends as well, because
Yeah.
it gets out, Sid News is a nightmare. I've been there. Okay, good. Well, so, sounds like there's room there. So if you can envision a 5, and that, if those miracles had happened, and you're kind of getting there, and you're back to your normal routine with the kids, where would you kind of rate that? Do we get back up pretty high?
Yeah, probably like I mean, you know, having kids is stressful and whatever, maybe an 8.
Yeah,
Some
every day
days a
can't be a
10,
10,
you know?
yeah. But just the normal,
Yeah.
you know, that 7-ish
Definitely
day
more
like we
than-
all want. Okay,
More than 5s, I would imagine.
yeah, okay, good. Okay, sounds great.
I watched some friends go through this,
Mhm.
you know, quite a few times, and that cycle happening over and over again just isn't something that interests me, so
Yeah.
good wake up call, I guess. Not that I really wanna be here, but everything happens for a reason, I suppose.
So surely the conditions for a while will be probably no alcohol from the court. That's
Yeah.
pretty standard. With DUIs, do you think you're gonna struggle with that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it wasn't ever anything that was like a problem before, but since the divorce,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess if I'm being honest, like I said, it's dinner and drinks and then go out every other weekend and,
Take your mind off
yeah, just
the
being
struggles of
alone.
the
and-
world. Mhm.
So I guess I'll have to start feeling all that stuff, or, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and change is hard. Change is hard, and you got some changes that happen now that are changed. Vehicle's not available for a while. Insurance is going up. And so there's those changes, but there's also the choices we make to make
Yeah.
changes, and those can be hard too. So, I mean, but let's go down a weird road. Let's talk about if we just didn't change. So you came to this meeting, this went great. But let's say over the course of next month, we kind of limp through the meetings, maybe come a pot one time, maybe you've drank more than the one time. You know, what are some of the consequences if we don't change at all? For at least this, for a while now, right? Because now we're kind of
Yeah.
court ordered, yeah.
Well, I don't know what it looks like exactly when like you, I don't know if I'm on probation necessarily, but I'm sure there's something would happen with the court system if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
So that could have some pretty bad consequences, I guess, maybe jail time again. If I go back to jail again and my ex finds out about that, surely that will affect my custody of my kids and,
And necessarily, we haven't necessarily had to make some changes to that quite yet, because
Right.
you have the week on, week off, okay?
yeah, it didn't affect them at all really, like directly at this point. I mean, I guess my health, if I keep drinking like this in my family, there's, you know, some alcohol issues, so, could trend down that road too
Trend the
much,
wrong way, okay.
and that might not be good.
Okay, so let's talk about it trending the right way. We're off to the races,
Yeah,
we meet every week. You're being very open, I enjoy it, I like talking to you. Maybe we stay alcohol-free for this month while we're kind of under scrutiny. Get you back, being able to function as far as driving. So, you know, it wouldn't be 24/7 drive whenever you want, but they can get you back on the road to bring your kids to school and go to work pretty quick. So if let's trend that way. So if we make those changes, at least for a while, right? What other things can start to happen as we go down that path?
well, like if I'm not drinking or using anything, then, you know, as uncomfortable as it could be to be feeling things, I guess, maybe it's time to start working through some of that stuff. Divorce, custody, and all the things that come
Yeah.
along with that. I probably have a lot more going on than I was really wanting to admit, and it was easier to just
Ignore.
drink that, it would numb that away, and deal with it, so walking through that stuff, like, I mean, what does that look like? I don't know, but surely better than what I've been doing for the last year.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. So we got a couple paths that could go either way. It's fair. And everything in between those two, right?
Right.
Okay. Good. Well, you know, Danielle, you're doing really good. It's our first meeting. We've talked a little bit. I think I want to kind of review some of my notes. Maybe we'll take a quick break. I'll try to come up with maybe some like goals or suggestions for our next week.
Okay.
I'll have a couple more scaling questions for you right at the end.
Okay.
That might be a little difficult for the first time, but again, those will come more and more, and you'll get kind of used to them. So I guess we'll just take a real quick break.
Okay, you said the bathroom was over there?
Yeah, just down there to the right. Thank you. All right, give me just a few minutes. Thank you. All right, Danielle? Okay. I think I got a couple goals we might be able to agree on, and then we'll do those last few questions. We're off to the races. When we were discussing things moving up that scale from that 2 and 3 to 5, it sounded like a lot of the tension there is just the uninformation, right? Once we kind of know moving forward what's coming, it's going to be a little easier to wrap our heads around it. So I can help with a lot of that, and then there'll be some things maybe you can do. So some of the things I can do is we'll get your packet from the court. We'll kind of go over, I know we have the 4 meeting plan, but we'll kind of see what kind of things else they have on you. And just as far as restrictions, so you know you're not breaking any extra rules that they've put on you. What I think would be helpful for you to do this week, if you could get a hold of your insurance company. The insurance is called SR22. But let's find out what that's going to cost, what it's going to look like. It won't be something that we're trying to put in right away, but it'll be something. If the more we know now, the more we can plan for that. So maybe towards the end of our meetings, we can be getting it on the road as soon as we can, and back to our normal functioning. So if you can look at the insurance part, I'll get the core stuff as far as the quickest amount of days you have to have in to get back on the road, what the longest end of that would look like. I'll try to get everything from that maximum and minimum, so we can kind of see, all the in-betweens. I would like that. So I think that's going to help a lot. We get some information.
Yeah.
It would be nice. Maybe we could try to shoot for like a week of sobriety till our next meeting. We're going to have to test you now. We're going to definitely have to test you then.
Okay.
Think about it. It's not an easy thing. Life is hard. People use alcohol, and we sometimes just, take the edge off. And when you have a lot of edges, that's the hardest time maybe to also be sober and really live it. But if we could maybe even just get at least alcohol sobriety for a week, I think that'll move us in a pretty good direction next week. And if we struggle, please still come.
Okay.
We'll set goals, and we'll try to meet them. Sometimes not all the goals are met, especially the first time. So please come. You're not going to get too much of a lecture, maybe a little, but we'll work together on that. In my last meeting, or my last goal, I know we can make. It's an easy one, just setting up next week. Is this time work for you?
Yeah.
You're able to get here on the bus? or
Yeah.
whatever? Okay. So that's good, we've got a few pretty goals, so knowledge is power, I like that. Hopefully a week of alcohol sobriety, and then coming back next
Get
week.
here next week.
Alright, so here's how we like to end almost all our meetings. I got 3 numbered, we did the scaling question earlier.
Mhm.
So these ones are gonna be 3 specific ones, no wrong answer. These numbers stay between us. This isn't gonna go to your PO because you wanted to go real bad numbers versus. It's okay to be honest, and I think they'll slowly change over time, but the first one is on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not important at all, 10 being extremely important. How important is that maybe we make some changes so we don't fall into this thing again?
Probably like a 8.
Okay. Enough to where you don't want to be controlled and told what to do, for sure, yeah. Okay, good.
No more arrests or jail.
Yeah.
Like ever.
I like that, good. Okay, so on that scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not confident at all, 10 being no problem, I got this. If we made those, do you think you could do that? You think you can make changes?
Yeah.
We got there?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I guess like a 5 today is how I feel. It all is kind of overwhelming.
These are exhausting sometimes, and especially with all the ambivalence and the not knowing what's out there.
Emotionally draining.
It is. Okay. And then, so 5 that you could, and then this is the tricky one, on a scale of 0, 0 not ready at all. No. 10 being for sure, it's time, let's do it. How ready are you to make that change? It's a tough one.
I mean, I guess I'll really know tonight when I go home and try to not have a drink. Let's land on a 5, I guess.
5, that's fair. Middle of the road?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are pretty good numbers for the first meeting. I've seen 0, 0, 0, so we'll work this out. Okay, well, thanks for coming in again. I look forward to meeting you next week.
Thank you.
We're on the right path to getting better.
Quite as painful as I thought it could be, so.
We try to make it not too hard. Well, thank you, Danielle. Now we'll see you soon, and we'll keep rolling. All right.